Morning, fellow zombies. I know we're not alive yet. I sure as hell ain't. I'm not awake yet. I want to be back to bed sleeping, but I can't be. I'm just there. And my back is killing me. What else is new? It's 37 after midnight. It's the 27th of October, 2023. This is the Weaver Agency of Roseman, California. Rrrr. Oh, I was going over some memory notes. Apparently, city of Los Angeles is still having issues with homeless population all over the damn place. What else is new? Mayor Bass has been trying to do whatever she can to house these people temporarily and trying to make them go into transition places, different live, right? And keep finding out homeless encampments one way or another, especially one at a former workplace of mine. I always keep referring you guys to look at Google Maps or whatever map program that you have, because I wanted you to see my old neighborhoods, what I'm dealing with. It's not that easy dealing with areas like that. Now, if I happen to type into Google Maps, and I'm just going to just shorten things up a bit and head on over to the San Fernando Valley. Yeah. Yeah. Now, why would I actually say something like that? Oh, well, it's just yeehaw there. I can say it. Used to live in that area. Most of the valley was my home. There was the news report from probably Sherman Way all the way down to Victory area on Canoga. And people were complaining in the area about homelessness. Encampments happening all over the damn place. There was even something about a bus station in the area where I used to work at, that there were homeless encampments in that area. Where I worked at, if one would look at Google Maps, try looking at between Irwin Street and Victory and Owens Mouth and Canoga Avenue. Or actually, shall I say Irwin Street and... I forgot all about that damn place. I want that one. Oxnard. Oxnard. You will see on your Google Maps this entire abandoned area called, used to be, Blue Cross of California. Used to be the call center and an administrative hub. They also dealt with San Diego. They also dealt with Newberry Park. And I think somewhere other places in Ventura County as well. But that was the Southern California area hub. Most administrations would be happening out here in, on the West Coast until Anthem took them over. And then they got shit. And then their old work sites and job sites shut down, people laid off, fired, gone, or transferred out to different states or somewhere else. Or maybe overseas, who knows? I lost count after these assholes got rid of me. Yeah, back in '06. So yeah, it's almost been 20 years for these assholes. Now, getting back to what they were talking about, the homeless situation. There are a lot of areas um, in that section there that they could have camped out, and a lot of people didn't like it. When Blue Cross was in operation, you had guards all over the damn place. Trees were kept up, so was the lawn. They had gardeners out there every so often getting a place manicured. They wanted that professional look. These days, not so much. But there were good areas to have a picnic if you wanted to. Sit down and enjoy the area. Now, if we didn't have the drought going on, it would be lush and green, not spotty and ugly looking. Certain areas still continued with water, and it just made the area look, well, right now it looks uglier and shit. It looks uglier and shit. Why would I worry about this particular building? Because for several years, it was a job. Not exactly home, but it was still a job anyway. I worked there in the call center, bouncing from floor to floor. They moved us from time to time, like 6 to 8 months. Bounce from here, bounce from there, bounce, 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 bounce. Never quite comfortable with where the hell we were supposed to be at. Looking back at this area, if it kept lush and green, there was a valley on the Oxnard-Canoga area. There would have been a sign out in the corner of that street announcing what company it was. One could actually walk up the hills when it was green and lush. There was a pit of a valley in there somewhere. Hid you from the street. At least from one section of the street, and the other side of the street, well, they can see you anyway. Same thing goes for the, bit anyway, Oxnard and Owensmouth area. There's a bit of a valley in there too that people could have camped out if it was kept up. The whole place, the whole abandoned place could have been a garden spot for all the damn travelers would come in there to camp out. Unless they already got it fenced off like crazy, which I imagine they do. People were complaining about the bus terminals in that area. Well, over the past 20 or 30 years, they were making some construction in that area. They actually had a barrier separating a flow of the traffic. A lot of things have changed in that area, including the mall. There were rumors that the whole damn place was going to be mowed down and then something else was going to be put over there. They still have an operating movie theater in there. Still McDonald's, I think, last time I checked. Unless, of course, they've already got that moved out, too. In its heyday, probably 30 or 40 years ago, this was a place to go. This was a place to be at. I don't know about it anymore. When I got out of San Fernando Valley back in '05, from '05 to '06 I was busing it. I lived in Palmdale on the outskirts, so I had to drive over to the bus station, get transit there. It would drop me off in front of the company. It would. Some of the residents out there really didn't like some of the things happening out there, but I hadn't heard too much griping or grumblings about it since there was a lot of businesses out there. The residents are worried about the homeless taking over everywhere. They ought to be. Well, these here days, they're going to be next. I'm not being facetious about this one, and I'm not making a joke on this one. I talked to some of the homeless people out here in the Antelope Valley. Some of them weren't born in homeless camps. They actually had homes living in. But things happen. Economic times, you get fired, you can't find another job, you lose money. Bills are coming up left and right. What do? Get evicted out of your home? If you're a renter, yeah, you get evicted. And then you're on the streets. Unless you can find some other place to live, good luck on that one. And if you own your own home, bank repossession. Been through that one. Not fun. Living in a house that was being in the process of being claimed by the bank. That wasn't fun either, especially when somebody's conned my family into the damn shit. We trusted them. We got burned on it. Got stuck out here in Antelope Valley ever since. It's gotten so damn expensive and unavailable in the San Fernando Valley. It's no wonder people are having problems living in the streets because the other NIMBYs out there still have their properties, but one by one they're losing them. Somebody else will be taking over their damn properties. And then where will the displaced be? Welcome to the homeless community. When you go to food banks, when you go to county facilities for financial assistance of sorts, you'll hear the stories. Some of them actually are, born in the system. The only thing they know is the system. Others aren't. Some have no choice but to deal with what they got to deal with, and it sucks. I'm looking at the map of a place I used to work at when I took the bus. Prior to that, I lived in the San Fernando Valley, so there was no issues going to and from this place. But when you take a bus, you see things differently. See how downhill some of the other areas were getting. Seeing too many damn changes. So many changes, I'm not quite sure if I still want to go back over to the San Fernando Valley at all. A lot of places got closed down, changed up. I can't recognize them. I mean, the streets may be the same, but landmarks are gone, and I have a hard time trying to figure out where the hell I'm going these days. What seems to be a place to live and raise your family in no longer is. So, yeah, I got an issue. I got an issue concerning about certain places. Other shopping centers pull up. Extension of houses continuing in the San Fernando Valley. It's no wonder the animal life is having a conniption fit with the human race. We still want more land. We want it all. But the animals, shit, they're on our case like crazy. Do you blame them? I don't. Certain areas that we considered parklands shriveling up left and right. There is one particular section of a park area that people would use as walkways and stuff. Very ugly looking, right along a river area, following a street. When the drought hit. Certain areas tried to keep up with the watering. Didn't work too well. Yeah, what I'm looking at is what used to be a long time ago. Makes me feel really damn old. Remembering things I'd gone through and seen, and wondering if they still want to keep the areas that way or not. Certain park areas that they would keep. I remember sitting and cleaning up some of those areas anyway. But over the past 30, 40 years, there's been a hell of a lot of landscaping. Certain park areas changed so much that I can't even recognize them anymore. Especially up in the northern areas. Some of the animals still have a problem with us, and we keep trying to punt them back in smaller areas. One of these here days, they're going to start biting and snapping at us, and we're really going to be in trouble, aren't we? I wouldn't blame them. I would not blame them. Certain areas, I just have to avoid. I feel older. I feel like I have seen too much of the expansion and what things should have mattered and didn't matter, and then tossed that on its ear. I know we've got more life, actually, more numbers on our own life forms than anything else, but still. You think somehow, some way, I'd be able to find a place to live if I wanted to. Apparently, I don't have that option or luxury these days. No, I'm stuck with what I got. I'm stuck with what I got. It just, I don't know, it breaks my heart that I see things that are and turn out to be just a pain in the ass to deal with these days. Certain neighborhoods that you would see in the television movies and television shows, whether or not they're going to be, you know, what you expect it to be. And then it turns out not to be. Plowed over for something. I guess maybe I ought to consider myself a little bit lucky that I live in an area maybe look like a damn piss pot, but it's still trying to expand itself a bit in the desert. I don't know how far it's going to expand, but it's still there. And what I was told online is we have people trying to expand on building more low cost places out here in Roseman, California. But it'll take them about 2 or 3 years to get them up and running, I guess. Now, if it's the high rises, that's one thing, but out here they don't do high rises. They do 1 story buildings and they call them apartments. Don't ask me. Usually, when I think of an apartment, I'm thinking of our 2 level, let alone 3 level, let alone skyscraper. But it's for low housing, and I wouldn't put it past him for having bug invasions left and right in the place. Out here, we have extenuating circumstances with bugs all over the damn place. Place is crawling with insects all over the place. We got ants coming into places looking for water. We got wasps and bees trying to search for homes. We haven't had an invasion over here yet, but it's soon, I guess. But we have the invasion of the bed bugs and the roaches in the area. So be warned about that one. Sometimes they'll come into your luggage, especially when you're traveling from place to place. So, oh yeah, it's real fun, real fun. But how am I feeling about this whole place? Small place of Roseman. It's home for right now. That's all I can say. It's home. Do I miss the San Fernando Valley? I know a lot of old timers could tell you about stories about what happened back there. They would. I remember when this particular store or that particular restaurant or this area or that area. And I remember this and I remember that. They used to have such wonderful food or wonderful stuff. Now it's just run down. And I'm not kidding about the rundown situation either. I mean, there are other areas in the San Fernando Valley that turned out to be wastelands. You talk about being depressed at this point. There was an area of Victory between, what was it, Van Owen or right along Laurel Canyon. Shopping area a long time ago that a lot of people would come in and do their stuff. These days, you got a high school in there. Well, we needed it because we got overcrowding. Took out some of the stuff that was empty, plowed it over, and then turned it into the academia, right in between a shopping center. Well, they've done that in different areas. Shit. When I was going to a school called John F. Kennedy High School in Granada Hills, we used to have a small shopping center. We had it. We had a mini mall there. It's gone. It's gone. Now it's apartments. Used to have a batting cage in the back. Used to have a bacon save. Used to have a theater. Also turned the place into a shopping center at one time. It had a liquor store, had a go-kart place. I mean, it had things for people to do in the area. That was over, God knows, 40 years ago? 44, 40 years? I'm getting old. I'm getting too damn old to remember this shit. I feel like those old farts out there saying, I remember when. I feel like saying, oh, shut up. That's what I feel like saying. Ah, shut up. Laugh about it. The Google map they have right now on what's supposed to be John F. Kennedy High School. I know they went through remodeling right after the 94 quake. A lot of structural. And then they had to rebuild or modify anyway. I'm looking at the current map that they got about 1 or 2 years loaded in, and the whole area is leveled except for a Taco Bell. They still got a restaurant in the area. What used to be shops, liquor store, no, they had a liquor store in the area. Sandwich shops, attorneys, services that the area needed. Now they're going to turn it into housing. They're going to turn it into housing. Do I blame them? Not much. But I have to understand that space is a premium in the San Fernando Valley. We've gotten and grown too damn much in the area. Way too much. There used to be an occupational center. I think it's still out there. Yeah, they still got it. I think. Occupational training center for the east, for the northern area. They also would have. There was a high school at one time called Alamany by Rinaldi, but because of the earthquake kicked, they shoved everything else they could into a mission area. Well, they got their area back, that's for sure. So Alamany's back again, or called it something else. Just makes me depressed as hell. Of course, they kept Holy Cross Hospital. That's good. Place was always needed as a trauma center, anyway. And different places I used to visit in the San Fernando city of San Fernando. Other places have changed. The change is inevitable, especially when you get older and you're growing and you're seeing things changing for difference. It's kind of hard to deal with it, you know? It's hard dealing with stuff like that because now I'm just depressed as hell about it. It used to be a huge lake, now it's no longer there. What was considered playground is just, well, it still is a playground out there, but it's not what people had expected a long time ago. I know, I'm stuck in the past because that's all I remember is the stuff what used to be. It's not bad remembering stuff like that. Other things I'd seen, but just never paid attention to. And yes, it still is the valley for a lot of people who lived there and grew up there and still experiencing things. I had been a traveler in that valley since the age I was 2, and I got the hell out of there. Let's see, from '68 through 2005. That's a hell of a time, isn't it? About 37, 38 years. So I'd seen the changes happening in the valley during those days. Both good and rotten and confusing as hell. Thousand Park, yeah, Moore Park, Newberry Park. Yeah, that's where the old place used to be as well. So no longer part of the Southland, no longer part of there. It's just gone, 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 gone. I know a whole big world to explore if I ever actually wanted to do that. And I'm just old and tired. 57 years old, my age right now. I'm going to be 58 next year. And that scares the hell out of me. Because I'll be turning 60 after that in a couple more years. Then what do I do? Well, it depends on what I'm going to be doing this particular year anyway. If I want to go anywhere or see anything. The question is, will I be around during that time? I'm just being maudlin about it. I'm being depressed about it. Changes are happening right now, and I'm not quite sure how to deal with this shit. That's for damn sure. I'm just trying to deal and trying to cope. And it's not that easy. Of course, I can really gripe and grumble about a hell of a lot of crap these days, but that's gonna not deal with me at all. So, just let this one go for right now. I'm just being maudlin today.